The highway that keeps collapsing, and the 100-year-old secret beneath it. What if the road you're driving on was built over a ticking time bomb? In December of 2024, a 25-foot deep sinkhole opened up beneath Interstate 80 near Wharton, New Jersey. Drivers slammed on their brakes. Crews rushed to the scene. And for days, traffic was backed up for miles. The hole was patched. Life went on. Then it happened again and again. By March 2025, 3 separate collapses had torn through the same stretch of highway. And the cause? It wasn't just bad engineering or extreme weather. No, this was something far older. Something buried deep underground. The real culprit was a network of abandoned 19th century iron mines, left behind and long forgotten, until the ground quite literally gave way. This isn't just New Jersey's problem. It's a warning, and it starts beneath our feet. More than a century ago, Wharton, New Jersey was a booming mining town. Iron ore was its bread and butter, pulled from vast underground veins. The miners back then carved deep into the earth, following the ore wherever it led. No safety nets, no long-term planning. When the iron ran out, the miners packed up. The tunnels were left as they were. No backfilling, no maps, no warning signs. They just walked away. Fast forward a few decades, and those hollowed-out shafts are now beneath homes, parks, shopping centers, and one of the busiest highways in the region. These aren't rare flukes. They're the long-delayed consequences of decisions made in the industrial age, finally catching up in the modern one. So how does a mine dug in the 1800s cause a sinkhole in 2025? Let's break it down. When you remove material from underground, you're creating empty space. And empty space doesn't stay empty forever. Over time, the weight of the earth above begins to shift downward. Water seeps in, through rain, snowmelt, even leaky plumbing. That moisture weakens the rock and soil, dissolves minerals like gypsum or limestone, and erodes the tunnels from the inside out. Eventually, the roof of the mine collapses. Sometimes it caves in all at once. Other times it sags slowly, warping the ground above until cracks start appearing in roads, buildings, and pipes. And then, one day, a sinkhole swallows part of the freeway. The scariest part? You might never know it's there. In states like New Jersey and Pennsylvania, thousands of old mines were never properly mapped. Some weren't documented at all. And today, neighborhoods are sitting on top of them, completely unaware. Even the Department of Transportation isn't always sure what's down there. It's like driving across a jigsaw puzzle of unknowns, where one missing piece could mean collapse. And to make things even trickier, property ownership in many states is divided into surface rights and mineral rights. That means someone else could legally own and have once mined the ground beneath your house, even if you own the land itself. So when something goes wrong underground, who's responsible? Often, no one. There's a name for this kind of slow-motion collapse: mine subsidence. Unlike a dramatic sinkhole that opens in an instant, subsidence is subtle. A building might slowly tilt, doors stick, pavement warps. It happens inch by inch, over years, until the damage becomes too obvious to ignore. And the deeper the mine, the wider the subsidence can be. It doesn't always happen directly overhead. Entire neighborhoods can shift, even if they're hundreds of feet away from the original tunnels. In one Illinois town, an old aggregate mine collapsed beneath a sports complex in 2024. No one was hurt, but it could have been much worse. And the truth is, there are thousands of ticking time bombs like that one across the US. In the US, most mining regulations didn't appear until the late 1970s. Before that, there was no legal obligation to stabilize or reclaim a mine after closing it. That means the majority of abandoned mines have zero protections. And once the companies that dug them go out of business or disappear, there's no one left to clean up the mess. That's why states like Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Illinois have created mine subsidence insurance programs. In some places, it's required for homeowners. In others, it's optional, but highly recommended. Even the federal government collects a small fee from current coal mines to fund cleanup of those abandoned before 1977. Still, it's barely a dent in the problem. So what do? First, we predict. Engineers use past data, computer models, and geotechnical testing to figure out which areas are at risk. Then we monitor. Instruments like inclinometers and extensometers are buried deep in the ground to measure even the slightest shifts in soil or rock. And finally, we repair. That might mean filling a sinkhole with layers of rock and sand, or injecting grout or foam into a collapsing tunnel. In some cases, buildings must be retrofitted or even abandoned entirely. But the real answer? Don't forget what's underneath. Mining made modern life possible. It gave us steel, electricity, roads, phones, everything. But the costs of that progress are still coming due, not in spreadsheets or history books, but in real-time collapses under highways, homes, and schools. This isn't just a story about geology. It's a story about consequences, and whether we're willing to learn from the past or let it keep pulling us down. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.